Dang.
All right, here we are.
Huzzah.
Huzzah.
Welcome. Let's get weird.
Let's get wild.
Let's get crazy with Weird Shit Wednesday.
I don't know if I can get crazy right now. My body's kind of broken.
That's fair. It's very... We'll just start off nice and chill.
Yeah. Chill vibes. That's not our vibe. We're not chill. We don't do chill.
But we do exhausted and caffeine depleted. So...
I've had a decent amount of caffeine today. Because you brought me coffee.
Yes.
And I've had 2 cans of Mountain Dew.
Oh, dang. I was aware of that fact. Do.
Whoops.
That's
But
okay.
yeah. But we're here. We're alive. We're thriving. And we're going to get weird with it.
Hey, guys.
Hello. Zombies. Every time I say that, that's all I think of. If you aren't a fan of Glam and Gore, you won't understand. And if you aren't, go become a fan.
Yes.
Because I love her. I love her a lot.
Yes.
All right. I don't remember who has to go first.
I don't either. You know what? At this point, I don't think any of us ever really remembers what we
No.
did last time because so much happens in our...
We only meet, we only record once a month. So it's like, you expect me to remember what happened a month ago?
No, I can barely remember what I had for dinner last night.
If you had dinner, knowing you.
I did!
It's a miracle.
I can't say that because I actually got home from work and I was like, you know what? If I sit down, I'm not going to make anything for dinner. So I actually made dinner. Now I remember, I had omelets.
Ooh.
I made myself an omelet.
You made the
last night.
tasty omelet. I finally got to enjoy that for the first time.
Huzzah!
When we went to see Youngblood.
Yes.
That's right. This is our first post Youngblood podcast.
Yeah.
We survived.
We're alive. It was the best night ever.
I'm still going through post-concert depression.
It's okay.
I want to go back. Take me back.
Take me back.
Yeah. Literally the best show I've ever been to in my entire life. Yep.
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 There aren't words. Like there's no words to describe that night.
He was such a beautiful man, and he's
so pretty.
He plays so well to the crowd, and it's just so engaging, and it's just so much fun.
And he's so fun, and we had a blast, and everybody was so nice.
Yes.
And it was exactly what I wanted and needed it to be. And now we don't have anything fun, like concert-wise, planned until October.
Yeah. Well, who knows? Maybe something will pop up and we'll be like, going.
I mean, I'm here for it. So, maybe.
If y'all know of any good concerts in the Minnesota, Wisconsin area, let us know in the comments and we'll check it out.
Yeah. Preferably things that are loud and screamy.
Yes.
We don't do the country pop vibe thing.
None of that. None of that.
We ain't Swifties over here.
No.
Fuck no. No offense if you are, but like...
Yeah,
whatever.
like to each their own, but it's not
my vibe. Nope. All right.
If I'm not going to get whiplash from...
I need to be able to,
groove.
like, feel the bass in my soul.
Yep. Honestly, if the bass isn't going hard enough and I can't feel it,
You're
it's
not
not
gonna
good.
hear it.
It's not good enough because I'm not gonna be able to hear it.
Exactly.
That's why I don't like. I figured out that's why I like screamy punk music most because I can actually hear it. Because most like pop and like country artists they have like a higher range and
it's less bass.
It's less bass and that's completely outside of my hearing range.
Yeah.
It's like obviously I can still like hear it, but it's outside of like the speech banana of like consonants that I can like fully understand. So it's like, nope.
Yeah.
That's why I don't like it, because I can't understand it. Literally.
Yeah.
And also it's just...
It's just too... There's not enough richness to it.
Yes.
I like layers to my music. I want, like, a deep, heavy bass. I want the, like, super wide range of the guitar, and I want, like, heavy drums to, like... Like, I want to feel the physical reverberation in my sternum. And then I'm good.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rock on. All right, well, since you're actively knitting, I'll go first.
Okay.
Okay, so, creature feature. So, last month, I actually pulled a Major Arcana card for the first time in quite a while.
Okay.
And I got the Empress.
Ooh.
Which, in the upright position, represents femininity, beauty, nature, nurturing, and abundance.
Okay.
but reversed can represent unhealthy dependence on others.
Oh.
And I am very proud of myself. I tied my card to not one, not two, but all three of my categories this month because your girl's good. And I threw this together yesterday.
Good job.
Because May has been a beast.
Yeah.
It has been nonstop chaos, good and bad. Because we also had, the 2 shows, but I've also been dealing with some dental bullshit, which has been really fucking fun. And the busiest month of the year for my work. So, my body is tired and angry, and I am tired and angry.
Valid.
And so we're going to have fun today.
Yes.
But we're not going to get tired and angry with my creature feature because I'm actually going to talk about something very nice.
All right.
So, with the card of the Empress, this was the first thing that I was like, oh, I know what I'm doing. Because when I think of creatures that represent femininity and beauty and nature, there's really only one being that comes to mind right away.
I think sprites.
You're close.
Oh.
Think Greek.
Nymphs?
Yep.
All right.
We are going to talk about nymphs.
Cool.
So I got a little bit of history, kind of talking about like what are the nymphs, how are they portrayed in classic literature, and then I have a story, one of the more famous stories about one of the more famous nymphs of Greek mythology.
Alrighty. When I think of nymphs, my brain immediately goes to Circe and her nymphs on her island that she protects, like her children.
Yes. Yes. I just go to Hercules with what's his face? Phil chasing
Phil.
the nymphs through the forest.
Oh, speaking of Phil, I was so happy because at Disney Trivia on Thursday, on the image round, one of them was Phil, like where you had to write the names of the characters, and I wrote his full ass name, Philatides, and the guy doing the questions could not pronounce it, so I'm like, Philatides! He's like, oh, that's what that is? I'm like, yes, why are you doing Disney Trivia if you can't pronounce the names? Like, he like asked us, like, like, when Pocahontas was worried or considering marrying Kocoum, and then he was, like, completely biffing it on pronouncing Kocoum. He's like, I'm like, it's Kocoum! I'm like, guys, come on. Don't ask us Disney nerds about these questions if you can't even pronounce it yourself.
I'm so sad I didn't get to go.
Yeah, it was a good time.
Next time.
Yes, 100%.
Next time for sure. I need a good trivia night. I need another true crime trivia night is what I need to do, and I need to get on Jen's ass about that.
Yes.
So Jen, if you're listening, this is your cue to get it done.
Let's go.
I also need your coffee to open soon because I'm going through withdrawals. Although she did commit, and she did tell us that no matter what, the Secret Coffee Society will continue year-round for the rest of eternity.
Oh, I love that. Good for you.
If I haven't talked about this already, I'm not sure if I've talked about this on the podcast or not.
Maybe not.
I have a good friend named Jen. She's amazing. Love her. Who owns a coffee cart called Hollow Grounds here in town. And she also owns many other businesses. She has a gym called The Graveyard. And she does, like, crafts and, like, wood burning and jewelry making. And all. She's just a very talented human. But she is also a spooky bitch like us. And so her coffee cart's only open during the summer months because it's a coffee cart. It's literally like a little silver trailer that she parks in a parking lot. And yeah. But she has some of us that are very loyal. They go through several punch cards a year, even though she's only open 3 days a week. And so she started the Secret Coffee Society where, in true addiction form, you either bring cash or Venmo her, and on Fridays, you text her your order Thursday night, and on Friday morning, you just drive into the back alley behind her house up to her garage, and she exchanges cash for coffee at your car. So I have a caffeine drug dealer.
I love this so much.
And I'm sorry, like, there is not a coffee place on this planet that can touch what she does with a espresso machine.
Mm-hmm.
It's so fucking good.
And it's so smooth.
It's smooth, and she has really unique, creative flavors. Like, she did one for Easter called a Bloodberry Bunny.
Mm-hmm.
And I never would have thought, like, because it was like raspberry coconut latte. And I was like, those flavors don't
sound like it would go. But
I was like, I'm going to try it. I'm gonna push myself out of my comfort zone, because I always get the same thing from her. And it was so delicious that I texted her, I was like, this needs to be on the menu full time. Like, this needs to come back. Mm-hmm. You can name it something else.
Yeah, like a little, like, vampire something.
And all of her drinks are named after either horror themed or, like, spooky themed. Like, it's great. It's so, so cool. So if you're anywhere near Superior, Wisconsin, she opens in June. She's open Wednesday, Friday, Saturday. So check it out.
Do it.
Shameless plug. But anyway, back to nymphs.
Yep. See, we got our little sidetrack in there.
Okay, we're talking about coffee, man. So the nymph is a minor female nature deity in ancient Greek folklore. They are distinct from other Greek goddesses and are generally regarded as personifications of nature. And they are typically tied to specific places, landforms, or trees, and depicted as maidens. Because of their association with springs, they're often seen as having healing properties or other divine powers such as divination and shapeshifting. But in spite of their divine nature, they are not immortal.
Okay.
They are mortal. They are divided into various broad subgroups based on their habitat. And the most kind of common ones are the Meliae, which are the ash tree nymphs, the Dryads, which are the oak tree nymphs, the Alsaids, which is the grove nymphs, the Naiads, which are spring nymphs, the Nereids, which are sea nymphs, the Oceanids, which are ocean nymphs. That one at least makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
The Oreads, which are mountain nymphs. And there's also Hesperides, which is evening nymphs, the Hyades, which are rain nymphs, the Heliades, which are daughters of Helios, and are poplar tree nymphs, and the Pleiades, which are the companions of Artemis.
Aww.
Yes. Nymphs are featured in classical works of art, literature, and mythology from ancient Greece till modern times. They are often attendants of goddesses and frequently occur in myths with a motif of love being involved. And they are often the lovers of other heroes or deities. They're considered quite desirable and promiscuous. They're a little flirty. And they are rarely able to be tamed. Usually they're wild girls. Hey, stay feral is my theme this year. So this is
there you go. I was gonna say, I'm like, are we sure we're not just talking about you?
Maybe I'm really a nymph. Maybe that's the truth. Maybe I've been keeping that for you my whole life. Surprise! Just kidding. If I were a nymph, what category would I be in? It'd be a water nymph, like, realistically.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah. Yep. Anyway. I got distracted. Yeah. So, they, oftentimes when they are dealing with mortals, these dealings are marked by, capricious aggression.
Ooh.
Since the Middle Ages, they have been popularly associated or confused with fairies as well.
That makes sense.
So they're
they got some similarities.
Very similar. It's believed that nymphs were related to many of the Olympic gods, and it is said, for example, that they could be daughters of Zeus, while others believe they were daughter of the big river Achelous or Peneus, or even the Okeanos, which is the oceans.
Gotcha.
The nymphs are uniquely connected to the element of water, and more specifically to fresh water. This connection is symbolic, pointing out the importance of water for the existence of life on the planet. And through the water flow, the nymphs are able to spread across the mountains and forests, being deeply related to the vegetation there that they help sustain. This is why the many versions of them are said to have them be daughters of larger rivers or daughters of the oceans, and why there's different types of them based on where they are found.
Nice.
The most kind of popular ones that are talked about the most are the Nereids. They're the special category nymphs that symbolize the different phases and characteristics of the sea, especially the calm sea. They were believed to be the daughters of Nereus and Dorida, and that there were 50 of them total.
Wow. They got busy.
That's a lot of fucking kids. Side note, I saw a video this week that made me like, I had to stop. It was this video, I think it was on, I can't remember if it was Instagram or TikTok, about the woman who holds the world record for most children birthed.
Yeah.
This one singular woman had 43 children. I think it was 43. It's 40 something.
No, thank you.
Because she had like 6 sets of twins and like 4 sets of quadruplets and like 3 sets of triplets.
Holy.
She was pregnant or
basically
like
that had to
nursing a baby for 25 years straight.
No, thank you.
She was literally consistently pregnant, gave birth, and then got pregnant again for 25 years.
No, thank
I'm
you.
like, no.
No.
There was a photo of her with like all of her. I was like, this is. Nope.
My everything hurts thinking about that.
I mean, at this point, you just stand up and it just falls out. Like, you wouldn't even have to push at the end.
I guess.
The last 3 probably just right on out. God. Oh, I can't. No,
thank you. Like, to each their own. If that's your
nobody needs to have that many children.
No one needs to have that many children.
No one. If you want to have 1, 2, 3, whatever, cool. Go at it.
Yikes.
40 something?
Oh my god.
No. Absolutely.
Did it say they were all with the same person? Like,
yes.
Oh boy.
Yeah, with her husband.
I hope her husband made bank.
He's a farmer.
When did this take place?
This is like the early 1900s.
Okay, like
so, like it.
That
tracks.
makes.
I think she was born in like 1919 or something.
Okay,
like
so
that.
Culturally, time wise, that makes
It
a
makes
little more
sense.
sense because you needed children to help sustain.
This isn't like
farm.
modern. She just
Yeah.
recently passed. I think was why it was like.
Oh, that's why it popped up.
Yeah.
But still.
But I was like,
Ah.
fuck.
No thanks.
No, thank you. Yep. No. Anyway, back to nymphs.
Yes. Nymphs. Nymphs.
Although Nereids are boasted for their beauty, they were actually so proud of the elegance and grace that they possessed that they were forbidden from all the women on Earth to compete with them in these characteristics. So they forbade other women from competing them with.
Oh.
There are many examples of this in literature, including the story of Cassiopeia, the wife of Cepheus, who claimed to be more beautiful than the Nereids. They got so mad at her that they asked Poseidon to punish her, and this is how the story of Perseus and Andromeda began.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Look at these nymphs stirring up drama.
I know, they're naughty little things. I think they might be my new favorite thing. Although the Greek mythology stories are filled with them, there are some that stand out. The most important is Amphitrite, the wife of Poseidon and mother of Triton, as well as Thetis, the wife of Peleus and mother of Achilles.
Mm-hmm.
Also, Calypso has a very interesting story connected to her name, as she was detaining Odysseus on the island Ogygia for 7 years.
Mm-hmm.
On that note, also, Harmonia was the lover of Ares and the mother of the Amazons, and she was a nymph. And Galatea was the love of the Cyclops Polyphemus. And then...
Polyphemus,
whatever. But the most kind of well-known story is the one I'm going to read you.
Mm-hmm.
And that is the story of Echo and Narcissus.
Ooh.
Yes, so this is the famous myth of Narcissus.
Cool.
Which, if you don't know who Narcissus is, he's one of the Greek gods, famed for his beauty and inability to get over himself.
It's like, I haven't seen so much love in the room since Narcissus fell in love with himself.
Exactly. So here's the story of Echo and Narcissus. There once lived a man, a prophet, who could see into the future the way you and I remember our pasts. His name was, a name that I'm going to butcher, I apologize, Tiresias. One day a woman came to him. She'd given birth to a child who she named Narcissus. And Narcissus was so beautiful he broke hearts as he wriggled in his cot. She was afraid one of the immortals would envy his beauty and destroy him. The prophet shook his head and said, "The gods pose him no threat. He will have a long life unless he learns to know himself." Shaking her head, the woman walked away. Years went by, and with every passing day, Narcissus became more beautiful. Wherever he went, women fell in love with him, but they never approached him because of his one flaw. He wore about himself a glassy pride that kept suitors at bay. Nobody wants to date a narcissist.
Nope.
On Mount Olympus, Zeus was all going about his usual pursuits, chasing, kissing nymphs, goddesses, traveling the earth in disguise, pursuing women. Zeus was a pig.
He was a
Can we just
total
say-
pig. He was the OG fuckboy.
Yep.
Yep.
He was just a nasty old fart. He barely bothered to hide his misbehavior from his wife. Shocker.
Mm-hmm.
And he'd enlisted the help of a nymph named Echo. If ever Zeus's wife Hera came too close to catching him in the act, Echo would distract her with an endless stream of pointless prattle until Zeus had finished.
Echo is not a girl's girl.
No! Echo is not the hero of this story, I'm
No.
sad to say. Also, finished. They played this trick once too often, however, and Zeus's wife Hera saw through it and said, "Nymph, always you want the last word. From now on, you shall have nothing else." Echo opened her mouth to answer, and out came nothing else, nothing else, nothing else. From then on, she could not speak for herself. She was condemned to trail behind others, stealing meaning from their last few words. She went to the earth. By chance, she saw the lovely young man Narcissus and fell in love with him at once.
Oh.
For months she followed him, waiting for the words to come out with which she could proclaim her love. At last, that moment came. Narcissus and his friends went hunting in a forest. They became separated from one another, and Narcissus called, "Is anybody there?" Echo joyfully stole the word, "Here," and then said, come to me. She ran to him. She put her arms around her. He pushed her away. "Get off of me. What are you?" What a douche.
But also, if a random person or a random thing just ran up to me in the middle of the woods and started hugging me, I would also be like, "What are you?"
That's valid. She's also like one of the most beautiful creatures on the planet. So like,
This is true.
you would think he'd be like, it's like, "Oh, are you okay?" But
Echo,
regardless,
are you okay? Are you okay, Echo?
yep, that's where we are. So yeah, he says, "Get off of me. What are you? I suppose like all the others, you love me." "Love me," she said. "Love me." "I would rather die," said Narcissus, "than let you lie with me."
Oh.
"Lie with me," she said. "Lie with me." "Leave me alone," he fled. "Alone," said Echo. "Alone, alone."
Oh.
Sad day. Okay. I'm not rooting for Echo, but I get
I
it.
feel it. I sympathize. But also, she kind of did this to
She did
herself.
it herself. Poor Echo was a slender thing. Her sorrow made her slighter still. She became spindly, bony, pale, gaunt, feeble, frail. One morning, when she tried to stand, her sharp bones ruptured through her thin skin.
Ha!
Yep.
Girl, you got EDS?
Apparently. Her body collapsed in on itself. Only her voice survived, hiding in caves, hiding among high hills. Wary of the stupid nymph, Narcissus went to a pool to drink. It was a perfect pool, as smooth as any mirror. He leant over the side and saw a face of such beauty that suddenly he was filled with another kind of craving. He leant forward to kiss it, but it broke into wrinkles. He gave a cry of anguish. He lay beside the pool like a fallen statue. He was transfixed by it. Time and again he tried to capture it. He mistook his own image for the other person who would complete him. Not a bright fella.
Nope.
And so the prophecy was fulfilled. Narcissus had learned to know himself, and his awful torture began. No thought of food or drink would take him from the spot. His eyes could never have their fill. At last he said, "You, please, come to me. Lie with me. Love me. When I laugh, I see you laugh. When I smile, I see you smile. When I cry, you shed tears. You give me every indication that you love me, and yet we do not embrace. I think I understand. I am in love with myself. Always we will be together, and yet always we will be apart. I have loved you in vain." Echo took his words. "I have loved you in vain. I have loved you in vain."
Ooh.
Narcissus closed his eyes and lay his head upon the ground. His soul drifted from his open mouth beneath the crust of earth, down a steep flight of stairs into the underworld, into the land of many guests, the realm of the dead. As his soul drifted across the river of forgetfulness, it left behind all memory. Even so, some urge too powerful to resist drew it to the edge of the river, where it leant over the side and stared at the greasy smear of a reflection that quivered on the surface of the water. Up on the earth, rumors reached a village. Lovely Narcissus was dead. So the people searched the forest to burn the corpse with proper honors, but they never found a body. Instead, they came upon a delicate flower with white and yellow petals leaning over the edge of the pool as it gazed at its own reflection. I love Greek mythology. It's so
fun.
dramatic.
They are. They're such drama queens. They're just like, I cannot marry myself. I must die.
I'm going to stare at my own reflection till I wilt away to nothingness. I love a man. I will stop existing until my bones break through my skin and I become an echo amongst the caves. It's ridiculous.
It's so crazy. It's over the top, but it's so
ridiculous.
fun. It's so fun.
So yeah, the lesson we've learned here today is there's nothing on this planet worth loving enough for you to die over.
Exactly. Men are stupid.
Men are stupid. Narcissists are stupid too.
Yes.
All right. What creature have you brought me this month?
Alrighty. So I got the Eight of Cups for my tarot card. In the upright position, it can be symbolized for abandonment, walking away, letting things go. Reversed, it can stand for stagnation, accepting less, avoidance, fear of change, or staying in a bad situation. And I also tied not one, not two, but all three.
Fuck yeah, look at us go.
Woohoo! Look at us being consistent with our...
I'm so proud of us.
I know. That's like 2 months in a row now. We've tied all of it.
We're getting good at this.
We're getting good.
It took us a year and a half.
It's fine. We found our groove. All right. So for my creature feature, I picked the word stagnation. Ooh. And when you hear stagnation, and what kind of comes to mind?
Like murky pond water.
Yes. Pretty much. Yeah.
I'm doing like a bog monster type thing?
Pretty much. You nailed it. So with the stagnation, I'm picturing like stale, gross, something unpleasant.
I think something like green water with like those little flecky things growing on and like tadpole scum floating on the top.
We got a bog or swamp, if you will.
Ironically, my last name means bog or swamp.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting. I didn't
Marlow
know.
comes from the marsh, the low of the lands.
Oh.
So it's like a bog or a swamp.
Cool.
So, yeah.
That's very cool. Per National Geographic, a swamp is classified as an area that is permanently saturated or filled with water. Excuse me. Swamps can exist in many different types of climates and are on every continent except Antarctica, for obvious reasons, I hope.
Yeah.
Yep. And additionally, while swamps might seem like stale or like nothing really grows there,
they're a wild ecosystem.
They are. Swamps have a very diverse ecosystem that support hundreds, if not thousands, of different plants and wildlife, both common and uncommon, and maybe cryptid in nature. So today we're going to head into the swamps of Bishopville, North Carolina, and we're going to talk about this strange creature that has its first sightings documented in the late 1880s, the lizard man of Scape or Swamp.
The lizard man. I love it.
The lizard man.
Victoria's over here going, lizard.
Lizard. Lizard. Lizard. Yes. So I've got a little...
At some point I'm going to pull the trigger and buy that fidget for you.
Yes.
There's a little clicker. When you press it, it goes, lizard. Lizard. Yes. And I was like, I haven't because I know that you would just annoy everybody with it. Yeah. But every time I see it, I'm like, I should get this for Carson.
I love it.
Lizard. Lizard.
So here's the story of the lizard man of Scape or Swamp. The first modern reported sighting of the creature was made by George Holloman Jr. in the fall of 1987, but it was the report by Christopher Davis, a 17-year-old local man, that made the lizard man famous. David said he encountered the creature while driving home from work at 2 a.m. on June 29, 1988. According to his account, Davis also stopped on the road bordering Scape or Swamp in order to change a tire which had blown out. While he was finishing up, he reported having heard a thumping noise from behind him and having turned around to see the creature running towards him.
Oh, fuck.
Davis said the creature tried to grab at the car and then jumped on its roof as he tried to escape, clinging to it as Davis swerved from side to side in an effort to throw it off.
That's a nope.
Yep.
For me.
Nope. After he returned home, Dave's side view mirror was found to be badly damaged and scratch marks were found on the car's roof, though there was no other physical evidence of his encounter. I looked back and saw something running across the field towards me. It was about 25 yards away, and I saw red eyes glowing. I ran into the car, and as I locked it, the thing grabbed the door handle. I could see him from the neck down with 3 big fingers, long black nails, and green rough skin. It was strong and angry.
This is not a boop the snoot.
No, this is not a boop situation.
No, we ain't booping this shit.
I looked in my mirror and I saw a blur of green running. I could see his toes, and then he jumped on the roof of my car. I thought I heard a grunt, and then I could see his fingers through the front windshield. They were curled around on the roof. I sped up and swerved and tried to shake the creature off. Nope. In the month that followed the Davis sighting, there were several further reports of a large lizard-like creature and of unusual scratches and bite marks found on cars parked close to the swamp. Most of these are said to have occurred...
Chomp, chomp.
Chomp, chomp.
He's just a hungry boy.
He's hungry. He's like, can I eat? Most of these are said to have occurred within a 3-mile radius of the swamps of Bishopville. At the time, local law enforcement officials reacted to reports of the lizard man with a mix of concern and skepticism, stating, I would be a little bit skeptical too, be like, okay, it's probably just someone out there in a mask poking fun or doing something silly.
Or people are crazy.
That too. Stating that a sufficient number of sightings had been made by apparently reliable people for them to start believing something tangible was being seen, but also that it was more likely to be a bear than a lizard man. I mean, giant fuzzy creature with claws versus skinny or like tall green with
Skinny thing.
That's a big difference.
It is a big difference.
Yeah. 2 weeks after the Davis sighting, the sheriff's department made several plaster casts of what appeared to be 3-toed footprints measuring some 14 inches in length, but decided against sending them on into the FBI for further analysis after biologists advised them that they were unclassifiable. According to South Carolina Marine Resources Department spokesperson Johnny Evans, the tracks neither matched nor could be mistaken for the footprints of any recorded animal. Evans also dismissed the possibility that they could have been made by some form of mutated creature. Yeah. Sightings attracted tourists interested in seeing the creature and hunters interested in tracking it, and nearby radio station WCOS offered a $1 million reward to anyone who could capture the creature alive. I mean, for $1 million, I'd start believing in the lizard man too.
I would wade in some fucking swamps.
Right?
Give me some waders. Let's go, bitch.
Let's go. However, reports of the creature began to decline at the end of the summer, with the last credible sighting of the year being reported in July. On August 5th, Kenneth Orr, an airman stationed at Shaw Air Force Base, filed a report with the police saying he had encountered the lizard man on Highway 15 and that he had shot and wounded it. He presented several scales and a small quantity of blood as evidence.
Jesus.
Orr later recounted this account 2 days later when he was arraigned for unlawfully carrying a pistol and the misdemeanor offense of filing a false police report. According to Orr, he had invented the sighting in order to keep stories about the lizard man in circulation.
Good Lord.
He just wanted that 10 minutes of fame.
He wanted his 15 minutes of fame.
Yep. But then they were like, well, you were firing your pistol and you're unlawfully carrying this? Okay, we're just going to slap you with the I made it up. So yeah, that is the curious sightings of the lizard man of Scape or swamps. Swamps.
I love that. We'll never know what the lizard man really is like.
Do. We shall see.
I don't really want to go to North Carolina to find out though.
Nah, I don't either. Actually, South Carolina. Was it North or was it South? I can't remember what I said now.
I think you said North?
Yep, North.
Okay.
North Carolina.
I've been to North Carolina. I don't need to go back.
I've never been there. I have no reason to go.
It was pretty.
Cool.
The ocean was nice.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Alrighty. What's next?
Well,
what in the world have you got for me?
I have kind of a creepy ass news article.
Okay.
So like I said, my card is about, in the upright position talks about beauty and nature, femininity. But in the reverse can talk about severe dependence.
Yeah.
So this one is going to focus on the reverse a little bit more.
Ooh.
And kind of an unhealthy dependence on another person.
You know what? This is going to tie in beautifully with my What in the World.
Oh, perfect. So I was searching for just kind of like weird news articles, because that's kind of typically where I end up for my What in the World. Mm-hmm. And I found this article, which is actually from this week.
Ooh, okay.
Which is very recent. This was written literally yesterday.
I love this.
For The Mirror.
Okay.
Which is a credible news source.
Interesting.
I think it's out of England. Yeah, it's out of London. And it was written by Michael Moran. And the title of it is what caught my attention. The title was, I woke from coma to find a man claiming to be my boyfriend, but the truth was terrifying.
Oh.
Yep.
No, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
This gives me Sleepless in Seattle.
A little bit. A little bit. So I'm just going to read the article because it was very well written. So I didn't need to elaborate. And here we go. It begins by saying, reuniting with a boyfriend after coming out of a coma may sound like something out of a Hollywood romantic comedy. Mm-hmm. But for writer Brooke Kinsley, or Knisley? Yeah, Knisley. It turned into more of a horror film.
Oh, boy.
In 2015, so this happened in 2015, the article was just released.
Yeah.
In 2015, Brooke had an accident that changed her life. She explained, quote, the friend I was with on that fateful day said I had only had 2 beers. I can't confirm or deny this because I have no memory of the fall or the entire day that preceded it.
Oh.
But she fell over 20 feet, suffering a serious brain injury that left her with permanent problems with balance, vision, and most importantly, memory. Mm. As horrifying as Brooke's injury had been, what came next was strange, inexplicable, and genuinely disturbing. After waking from a 10-day coma, Brooke, who is from the U.S., told a local podcast that she saw a man standing by her hospital bed. He told her, I've been telling the doctors and everyone you're my girlfriend. Is that okay? Which is a weird way to start.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Brooke, still confused from her injuries, thought the man looked vaguely familiar, but wasn't sure if she'd actually been dating him. When she asked him for an explanation, he replied, well, we were never together, but we are. So I'm just telling everyone you're my girlfriend now.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. Naturally enough, Brooke felt weird about it, but was still too confused and unwell to put up much of an argument. Over the following weeks, this man became a regular visitor at her bedside. Although she adds he would often take advantage of her memory issues to claim he'd been visiting when in fact he hadn't.
Ooh. No. Red flag. Yeah.
While he insisted he was trying to help Brooke with her recovery, his priorities seemed more to do with her appearance than her well-being. She continued saying, when I was trying to do logic puzzles to make my brain work again, and reading and things like that, he would say things like, maybe you should focus on shaving and getting ready of your body hair.
Okay. I'm going to fight this man.
Yep. Brooke explained that she is quite hairy compared to most women, and that for all the time she was in the hospital, no one had been paying much time or consideration of her personal grooming because it wasn't a priority.
Exactly.
She said, yeah, right? Like, who cares if you're shaving your fucking legs when you're recovering from a traumatic brain injury?
Exactly. Like, I'm going to be a little more concerned with making sure everything is functional.
Yeah. She said that after he would get off work, he would come to her parents' house where she was recovering, pick her up, and take her to salons to try and ask them to wax her face. It was terrible.
No.
Because Brooke had quite sensitive skin, the wax treatments would often leave her feeling blotchy and swollen. However, she'd been left with severe vision problems by her accident, and so when the beauty therapist showed her the results in the mirror, she'd struggled to understand them. She explained, I had double vision, but the second image of my double vision was rotated. So if it was vertically stacked and the top image was rotated. So like...
Oh.
So, and all the time, this man was trying to convince Brooke and her parents that they had been in a relationship. She continued to say, I felt weird about it. It felt strange, even the way he was telling me about this version of our interactions. But at that point, I did not remember certain interactions with him from the past, and it didn't corroborate with what he was saying and him claiming that we had been involved. There was also very little in the way of physical affection from him, she said. She said, I don't have a great dating history or history of being involved with people. I was joking around and saying I'm a battered woman because I've been in relationships with people that were abusive in a very different sense than that, which was heavily psychological. And so the type of interaction with that at the time seemed healthy to her. She said, it didn't seem bad, and also I'm just in general, I'm not really an affectionate person, so the fact that he wasn't super affectionate didn't strike me as strange.
Yeah.
Brooke's closest friend had been out of the country at the time of the accident and was surprised to learn of this new man in her life. After Brooke told her about his behavior and how he was placing so much focus on her physical appearance over her mental recovery, the friend said, maybe there's something he doesn't want you to remember.
Okay, that's a good friend there, questioning things, being like, hey, let's dig into this.
Yep.
No.
Yep.
No.
Uh-huh. I told you it got weird. This whole time, I knew something was off, she said. But it was only when her friend reminded her of things that it began to click into place. It turned out there'd really been something he didn't want Brooke to remember. So she continued. She said, I confronted him and said, I remember this. This happened, and I know that it happened. And she said to him, I remember that this happened. Is that why you're here? Why you've stuck around? After the argument, the man said he was going to split up with her, which absolutely delighted her mom, who had never really liked him.
Yeah.
Her mom said, yeah, he did also try to pull the plug on you.
Oh my god. Like, what? Mom, why didn't you tell us earlier?
She told her that when she was in a coma, he came to her mother and said, if things aren't looking good, we should not be afraid to pull the plug on her. To this, Brooke says, had been 2 days into her coma, which lasted 10 days.
Oh my god.
Even after she told her, quote, boyfriend, she never wanted to see him again. Every now and then, Brooke would receive a phone call or email from him. She said it always was the same thing. He'd want to know if Brooke's friend was planning to press charges about the assault.
Oh my god.
His exact motive for faking this, quote, relationship remains unclear to this day.
Oh my god. Ew. Oh my. Ew. I hope they got a restraining order on this person.
God, I hope so.
I
hope he's in jail.
I hope this person is in jail.
I did not have time to, like, fully deep dive into the, like...
I hope that friend did press charges.
I hope so. It would be... I understand that, like, a year later it'd be kind of hard to, like... Probably wouldn't get very far.
Still.
But...
Yeah.
Can you imagine?
Oh my god.
Not only do you survive a 20-foot fall...
Yeah.
You have traumatic brain injury. You're trying to recover, like, relearn how to, like, think. You can't see right. You have no memory. All this shit. There's this man who's just fucking weird, claiming to be your boyfriend, and then it turns out to be a man who sexually assaulted your friend.
Oh, this is just creepy and wrong on so many levels, and
if that ever happened to me, I would expect that man to end up in a swamp somewhere.
Oh, no, he will be 100% being sacrificed to the swamp gods.
We would feed this lizard man.
Yes.
Feed him to the lizard man.
Yes, we'll feed it to the lizard man.
There we go.
So
that's my what in the world.
Oh, what in the world indeed.
Because it made me say, what the fuck, a lot.
Yeah.
Which is close enough to what in the world.
Oh my god. Ick.
Yeah, sorry. That ick factor is going to roll over into my next story too. So just hold on to your hats.
Beautiful.
People, because this story inspired my spooky spotlight.
Wonderful. Okay, not the story I was thinking it was going to be, because like you were talking about like dependency and whatnot. I'm thinking, okay, it was going to be like a relationship gone wrong. Like, yes, this went very wrong, but there was no relationship.
There was no relationship to begin with. It was a made up bullshit relationship.
Freaky.
Well,
I guess it could kind of tie into it, because I imagine she would have some anger and a lot of questions and things that she would hang on to that eventually I hope she would grow and want to let go of.
Mm-hmm.
So in my one in the world, we're going to be talking about letting go.
Let it go. Can't hold it back anymore.
Okay, as much as I am a Disney...
Hey, you just did Disney trivia.
This is true. Here's the thing, though. I want classic Renaissance Disney.
True. Like 90s Disney.
Like 90s Disney. And that's what the trivia night was. It was
it
was specifically 90s Disney.
Which is the golden era
That
of Disney.
is the golden era of Disney.
Once Pixar got involved, it went downhill.
Yeah. I'm just like...
There are a couple.
I enjoy some Pixar films. However, I want my Renaissance 2D hand-drawn animation. That's my spiel.
Agreed.
Yes. But we are going to be talking about letting things go and getting into cord cutting rituals.
I watch those videos on TikTok all the time.
Mm-hmm.
It's so satisfying.
They are. But yeah, we've all got shit that we've been hanging on to for way too long, whether it be old grudges from middle school that pop up in the back of your mind right before you fall asleep and then keep you up all night.
Been there, done that.
Been there, done that. Maybe it's that trashy ex you keep thinking about texting again, or maybe
Don't text your ex.
Don't text your ex.
It's never worth it.
Never, never, never. Or maybe it's letting go of control of a certain situation, or realizing the career you thought you wanted is no longer for you. There's lots of things in the world that we gotta let go of. Holding on to things can take up a lot of unnecessary headspace, leaving you anywhere but in the present moment. It's when you're afraid to let go, it's usually your ego that's in control, and no one wants that. You want to let it. Refusing to let things go means, as she's pantomiming, let it go. What the fuck? What the fuck?
Oh, you have to realize I just came off of a banquet that was themed around fairy tales. So there was a lot of fucking Disney.
Many cultures practice different ceremonies or rituals to symbolize the act of letting go, and I'm going to focus on one of those today and talk through the steps of completing a cord cutting ritual.
Maybe we should make one tonight?
Yeah, that would be...
I got candles.
We could definitely do that tonight. Side note with this, I know there's many different ways and approaches people can take for performing a cord cutting ritual. This is just the most common one I found described, and the way I've done this ritual before as well. So if you do it a different way, kudos to you.
I'm
there's
curious
no
to see if it's the same way I do it.
Yeah, there's no right or wrong way. Cord cutting rituals have roots in a variety of ancient spiritual practices, stemming from a common belief that unseen ties or cords connect people emotionally, mentally, and energetically. Historically, these ties symbolize the bonds formed through relationships, and their severance was seen as a way to release attachment that hinder personal growth, freedom, or healing. This practice is rooted in many cultures, from Eastern spiritual traditions, where energy centers or chakras and cords are visualized in meditative practices, to Western esoteric and indigenous healing traditions, where rituals like cutting or breaking symbolic ties were used to end harmful connections or to transition after the loss of a loved one. Mm-hmm. So one expression of cord cutting in some indigenous cultures can be the cutting of hair after a loved one dies.
Yep.
So the psychology behind cord cutting. Cord cutting is effective not only as a spiritual tool, but can also be used as a form of therapeutic closure. Psychologically, the act of symbolically cutting ties can help with visualizing and process emotions. By externalizing an internal attachment, individuals can feel better or can better understand their feelings, which often provides relief or resolution. This practice aligns with methods used in psychology to address lingering attachments and release emotional weight. It can also help establish boundaries. Cutting cords reinforces the creation of mental and emotional boundaries. This can be empowering, especially for people who may struggle to distance themselves from draining relationships or memories. And also, it can increase mindfulness and focus. Rituals like cord cutting invite mindfulness, allowing individuals to be fully present with their intentions, recognize their needs, and bring greater awareness to patterns they want to change. So, lots of good things behind it.
Yeah.
So, some things you would need for your own cord cutting ceremony if you wanted to do it. First is a black and white candle. A white candle is for protective and loving light, and the black candle is to absorb negative energy. Mm-hmm. If you don't have these specific colors, anyone works. Those are just the two colors that are recommended typically. Pen and paper, a fire-safe, keyword fire-safe container, or like a cauldron, maybe even outside at a fire pit works too. String, obviously it needs to be strong enough to be worn for a long time, so like cotton, hemp, something that's not going to be like irritating to your skin. Scissors, and then candles, incense, essential oils if you so choose. You want to have a little more aromatherapy along with things. The best moon phase to perform this ritual is during a waning moon. Set some time aside for a little bit of quiet and peace to help center yourself with as many deep breaths as you need to feel calm and present.
which as we're recording this, the wane is waning. So this would be
a perfect
if you're
time.
someone who wants to do this, this is a good time to do this.
I did not even plan it that way. That was wonderful. Haha, look at me go. Maybe it just...
I lied. I'm sorry. It's waxing because it was just a new moon last weekend.
Oh, yeah.
So not a good time. But when this comes out, we'll be approaching a full moon.
There we go. I'm a bad witch. I don't pay attention to the moon phases very well.
It gets complicated.
It does. It does.
I just know when a full moon is because life gets hectic at work.
Absolutely. So once you've got all your things, to get started, you'll light both your candles and incense if you're using it. Write down what you feel like you need to let go of on your piece of paper. You'll then light the paper with the flame of each candle and place it in your fireproof vessel. Watch and breathe as your paper burns. Allow any feelings you have to come to the surface. This is also a great time to recall upon any angels, deities, or energies you'd like to invite in to help you through this process. When you feel like this part of the ritual is complete, thank any spiritual energies that you invited in and blow out your candles. You can leave the setup and the ashes of your burned paper out as long as you'd like as a reminder. Next, you'll need your length of cord. To start this part of the ritual, start by deciding where your cord should be tied on your body. You'll want to tie the string somewhere that connects you with what you're letting go of. If what you're letting go of it has something to do with work and you use your hands, you might decide to tie it around your wrist. If you're walking away from something, you could tie it around your ankle. If it has something to do with your creative center or some other deep feelings that you hold within, you could tie it around your belly. Just wherever is going to be most convenient for you. As you tie your cord on your body, say out loud what the cord represents and what it is you're trying to let go of. Wear this cord for the rest of the moon cycle or longer if you feel it is necessary as a reminder of your commitment to let go. When you feel you are ready or to do so, cut the cord and prepare a quiet space to do so. Thank yourself for your commitment and willingness to be more present and let it go. Ta-da! Let it go. Things you might say or want to put out into the world as you're cutting the ties. I now sever and release any and all energetic cords that do not serve my highest good. I release you and I release me from these binds. All cords are destroyed across all dimensions, times, and planes, never to return again. Or even I hereby banish these energetic cords and recover now all energy that was once lost. My energy flows back to me, filling me once again with vitality and creating a now peaceful mind. Important things to remember with this ritual is that it is focused on yourself and your own improvement. It's about channeling your energy and not the other person's if this is who it was tied to. Growth takes time, and if you feel like your cord cutting ritual didn't work, it's important to be patient, and you may even have to repeat it because healing and growth is a cycle. It's a spiral.
It's not a linear.
Sometimes it's a spiral.
Sometimes it's a whole Venn diagram.
Exactly. And other things, some things you can do to kind of help resolve your commitment to letting things go. Create a vision board of what your life would look like if you did let go and place it somewhere you'll see it regularly. Create a mantra about what you're letting go of. Write it somewhere and place it where you'll see it regularly. Journaling. Write it out. All of your fears associated of what you're letting go. I find that if I write out my fears and look at them, many of them are pretty silly and things I don't have control over in the first place. Mm-hmm. And above all else, be gentle with yourself.
Yes. That's really interesting. That is not how I've done cord cutting before, so that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
To learn a new practice. The ritual I have done for it's much faster. Mm-hmm. It's just done in one sitting. Mm-hmm. But the ritual I have participated in for cord cutting before is you would place still the black and white candles, mm-hmm. typically, what are the tall, skinny ones called? Pillar candles.
Yeah.
Like that you put on like a candlestick. Mm-hmm. So you place those in a fire-safe container, mm-hmm. And then you surround it with any herbs, dried flowers, essential oils, crystals, etc. that you feel represent what you're trying to do. And you tie the twine or string around the candles, light both candles, and then when the string is burnt away, the cord is cut.
Gotcha. Oh, yeah, I've seen that one too. That's a good one.
Yeah. So if you're someone who is like me that's not going to want to wear something on them for a month to deal with this, that's a faster, more like succinct way of practicing the same. But you still use the same like mantras. You still, focus on your own energy and say the same things of like, I'm cutting this out of my life. I'm, focusing on bringing my energy back to myself, like that kind of stuff. So.
It's being very intentional. I think the purpose of tying the cord around on yourself and then carrying it for a while is that like, hey, you're like have like that physical reminder of, hey, I'm still carrying this around with me and I don't want to anymore. So that way when you are ready, it's like you're physically removing the weight of whatever it is. If you are
wearing something on your body for an extended period of time, it also will absorb your energy. So you're kind of like physically putting your energy into the ritual. And it probably makes for a more powerful ritual. But like I said, if you're looking for something short, sweet, and to the point, you can also use representational magic when doing the one I do, where you could have like a photo or a word on a piece of paper or something that represents you and that thing you're trying to release, and put those in with the candles to do the same kind of concept as wearing the tie, wearing the string. And then you don't have to be as careful with what kind of twine you use. You can just use regular twine. Yeah. Because it's not going to rub on you.
That makes sense. Cool.
Sweet. I love it.
Yeah, a little mindfulness, self-help.
Yay.
There.
Witchy woo-woo love.
Witchy woo-woo love.
I love it. Well, we're going to need that positive energy going into my final category for the day.
Oh boy, bring it on.
So, for a spooky spotlight, I was kind of struggling to find something that really spoke to me. But then I found that article for the What in the World, and it kind of led me in the direction of like, okay, what is something that's terrifying that is often triggered by finding someone attractive and then becoming unhealthily attached to them.
Ooh, this makes me think of like when someone gets like uber obsessed with like a celebrity and they have like that weird parasocial like obsession.
That is definitely related to what I'm going to talk about. But we are going to talk about stalking.
Okay.
Yep.
Cool.
So I want to start with just kind of talking about what is stalking. I've got a couple pages of just like statistics to talk about first, and then I did find a story that this one lady actually was on the domestic violence help website. There was like a story from the therapist shared the client's story with permission, of course.
Cool.
On that website of like how simple it can go from like an innocent interaction to stalking.
Yeah.
And it become unhealthy.
It explodes and it balloons real fast. It goes from like real quick sometimes.
Yeah. So I picked this, like I said, because my tarot card kind of covers into both sides of my tarot card, reversed and upright, where it is often women who are the target of stalking. Not always, but more women experience this than men, and are targeted because of their beauty and femininity, and then these stalkers become unhealthily dependent upon the person they're stalking.
Yeah.
So starting with statistics. The first round of statistics I have talks about the victimization of stalkers. It is believed an estimated 13.5 million people are stalked in a 1-year period in the United States.
That's insane.
Nearly 1 in 3 women and 1 in 6 men have experienced stalking victimization at some point in their lifetime. Which is fucking wild.
That's too many.
Yep. More than half of all victims stalked indicated they were stalked before the age of 25, and nearly 1 in 4 were stalked before the age of 18. The vast majority of stalking victims are stalked by someone they know, 40% by a current or former intimate partner, and 42% by acquaintances. 69% of female and 80% of male stalking victims were threatened with physical harm. People aged 18 to 24 experience the highest rate of stalking victimization among adults. Stalkers use many tactics, including making unwanted phone calls, approaching the victim or showing up in places where the victim does not want them to be, following or watching the victim, sending unwanted text, photos, emails, or messages through social media, sending unwanted gifts, using technology to monitor, track, or spy on their victims. Almost half of stalking victims experience at least one unwanted contact per week.
Oh, man. Like,
Yeah.
The lengths some like these stalkers go to sometimes. It's just like, one, how did you find the time? And two, why?
Mm-hmm.
Ugh,
Yeah.
I just don't get it. I don't get it.
11% of stalking victims will have been stalked for 5 years or more. Yeah.
No, thank you.
And more than twice as many victims are stalked with technology than without. So the advancements in technology has made this a bigger problem than it used to be.
I can imagine, yeah.
Um,
I read a story one time about, like, this woman was being stalked and the person, like, hacked into her home security cameras that they have, like, to watch her. And I was like, no.
Yeah, it's fucking terrifying. Being a woman in this day and age is not for the weak.
Nope.
So the next round of statistics talk about the impact on the victims. So 46% of stalking victims fear or report fearing that they don't know what will happen next. 29% of stalking victims fear it will never stop. 1 in 8 employed stalking victims lose time from work as a result of their victimization, and more than half lose 5 days of work or more.
That's sad.
Yep. 1 in 7 stalking victims move as a result of their victimization.
Oh, fun fact that I just remembered. With the new Minnesota leave act for, like, paid leave, it covers instances of stalking. So if you're, like, in a situation where you need to take time away from work, you're protected.
Yep. I love that. And stalking victims suffer at a much higher rate of depression, anxiety, insomnia, and social dysfunction than people in the general population.
I
wonder why. That seems logical. But the good thing is, and these last statistics are going to talk about the offenders and kind of a little bit about them, and then the laws that protect you.
Excellent.
So 2 out of 3 stalkers pursue their victims at least once per week, many daily, using more than one method. 78% of stalkers use more than one tactic. Weapons are used to harm or threaten victims in 1 out of 5 cases. Just fucking terrible. Almost 1 in 3 stalkers have stalked before. And intimate partner stalkers are the most likely to approach, threaten, or harm their victims.
Because they have that
sense of ownership and connectivity.
Yep.
But let's talk about some laws.
Yeah.
Stalking is a crime and under the law of all 50 states, the District of Columbia, all U.S. territories, and under the federal government laws.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
You're breaking the law, guys.
It is illegal everywhere in this country.
Knock it off.
Fewer than 1/3 of states classify stalking as a felony in all circumstances, including on the first offense, though. More than half of states classify stalking as a felony upon the second or subsequent offense, or when the crime involves aggravating factors.
I think it'd be more states.
You'd think.
Classify it as
But
felony.
at the same time, look at the world we live in right now.
Valid.
Aggravating factors that would make it a felony would be possession of a deadly weapon, violation of a court order or condition of probation or parole, the victim being under the age of 16, or having reoffending on a victim of a prior occasion.
Okay.
Yeah. So, I'm going to read you a story now.
Okay. I like stories.
Well, this isn't a nice story.
Yeah.
But, yeah. So this is a story a woman shared about how a neighbor became her stalker.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So, the first line is, it all started as an act of kindness. This stalker was not an intimate partner and not someone I knew well. So I didn't understand their intentions or behavior. But this acquaintance became obsessed with me and began a year-long campaign of stalking.
Oh, boy.
I knew an elderly man who was struggling financially. He was also living alone following the loss of his wife. We attended the same community group. That's how I heard of his struggles. As a Christian, I wanted to help, and so I baked him a cake. A simple, kind gesture. I was cooking for my own father, simply made an extra batch that he could freeze and reheat, so it was no trouble.
He's just trying to be nice.
Yeah. But then things changed. Shortly after offering him help, I'd find him waiting for me when I attended the group. At first, he was being polite and kind, but then he started to monopolize my time. He interrupted me when I spoke with others and demanded attention and advice, constantly. I tried pointing him in the direction of other people who could help, but he was not seeking help from anyone, just my attention. I tried to spend more time with other members of the group. I hope it would dissuade or distract him, but he would wait outside and walk with me to my car.
Oh.
One day he tried to visit my home and drop off a thank you card. That's when he started to park his car by my house, using the excuse that he did local walks. But now he had a reason to, quote, pop by a few times a week.
Nope.
I would return home from work and his car would be on my road, so I would drive off. I even changed the times I would come and go to avoid him. Initially, I did not see this as stalking, incredibly irritating, but not stalking. Others also downplayed the situation, calling it a harmless infatuation, or making comments like, there's no fool like an old fool. Many thought it was funny or cute. After all, he was twice my age. This isn't funny or cute.
This isn't funny.
Old, creepy-ass men hitting on younger women is never funny or cute. Punch them in the dick. Sorry. Soapbox done. These obsessive and scary behaviors escalated. If I attempted to avoid him, he got angry and demanded to know what he'd done wrong. He was approached and spoken to by many leaders of the group we attended. He was asked to leave me alone and told that his actions were harassment. Yes, thank you. He became indignant and angry at those who warned him. But for a while, it seemed less intrusive. He would consistently stare at me, however, through each group session. It gradually...
mean mugging.
Yeah. And then it gradually started again. He would turn up more frequently, start following me to events. When I was at the hospital with my daughter, he showed up there.
No.
When I played sports, he was there.
Ugh.
I contacted the police and they asked if he had threatened me, which he had not done. So no further action was taken.
That's one thing that really irks me. Like, if you have, like, you can physically prove that he is constantly there at every single little thing. Like, I hate the fact that, like, oh, we can't do anything unless
it becomes a threat.
Unless it becomes a threat, unless they do something. The fact that he is there at every single thing, that is threatening enough.
Mm-hmm. Yep. After this failure on the police side, I stopped attending my regular community group and went to a different one. Finally, the group leaders realized this was not right and told them if he contacted me again, he would be reported for stalking. For a year, I had to change the way I lived my life. I had to change my routine and accommodate the unwanted abusive attention of someone I didn't want in my life. The attention was not flattery. When someone pays you unwanted attention, it is uncomfortable, it is embarrassing, and often frightening. An obsession is not normal behavior. It's irrational behavior that results in irrational and dangerous acts. I wish I had felt comfortable calling out his behavior from the start. I wish I had the confidence to say it was making me uncomfortable and to stop. We do not have to wait until they frighten, hurt, scare, or cause us to change our daily life to avoid their unreasonable behaviors. Mm-hmm. Take action. Stop stalking by calling out what it is. It is not infatuation, flattery, or a harmless attraction. It is unwanted abuse against your right to live free of harassment. Speak out, name it, and shame it. And that is her story.
Yes.
Thankfully, this, from what I read, the stalking has stopped, and he has left her alone since the leaders of the group kind of basically said, like, knock it the fuck off or you're going to jail.
Good.
Which is sad that it took that.
Yeah.
Like, not her saying, hey, leave me alone, but, like, probably male leaders of a group that he...
Of course, it had to be a fucking man to have to say it for it to mean anything or have any weight behind it, not just the person taking autonomy of themselves and be like, no, leave me alone. Yeah. That should be all that's needed.
Yep.
No is a complete sentence.
Yes. No is a complete sentence. So is fuck off.
Yep. Cannot make it any clearer than that, guys.
Nope. Men suck.
Yeah. Ugh.
I hope your spooky spotlight's a little less uncomfortable.
Yes, it's definitely less uncomfortable. I focused on the word abandoned from the upright version, upright side of the Eight of Cups. And when I was thinking abandoned, got me thinking of, like, abandoned places, like hospitals, abandoned buildings.
Yep. All right.
And why do we find them so creepy? Or why do they mess with our psyche
like
so
a
much?
Psychological route. I like it.
Yes. This is a wonderful article I found written by Brian Elspa, so I will be basically just reading the article that he wrote, but it dives into, like, the literal and psychological reasons of why things seem so spooky.
I have a theory, but I'll wait to see if it's valid.
Wonderful.
Based on what you read me.
Alrighty. So, there's something undeniably unsettling about places that have been left behind. From crumbling hospitals and decaying amusement parks to empty houses full of dust and secrets, abandoned locations have become the cornerstone of horror fiction and even real life. They exude a kind of silent menace, proof that life once thrived there, but something drove it all away. Oh, I forgot to mention, this article mostly focuses on, like, fictional horror and, like, why there's a lot of horror movies and things and books are, like, take place in, like, abandoned areas. But I think it really plays into the normal
horror,
psyche of
it.
it.
Horror is often influenced by real life fear.
Exactly.
So,
exactly. So, in horror literature, few settings are as effective for building dread and suspense as a place forgotten by time. So why are these eerie, desolate places so scary? And why do horror readers and writers keep coming back to them? We're going to dive into these reasons that these forgotten places haunt us, literally and psychologically.
Love that.
Number 1. Abandoned places are a playground for the imagination. One of the most powerful tools in horror is suggestion. What we don't see is often more terrifying than what we do. That's exactly what abandoned places provide. A broken window, a creaking swing, a wheelchair left in the hospital hallway. These images suggest something terrible happened here. But what? That's the question horror fiction loves to ask. When a location has been deserted, it feels like a mystery wrapped in decay. Horror readers fill in the blanks with their own fears. Was it a massacre? A cover-up? A supernatural event? The possibilities are endless, which makes these locations perfect for horror writers and incredibly gripping for fans. Number 2, decay reflects morality, and that's always scary. Abandoned places are rotting reminders of death and time. They are physical metaphors for the things we fear most: aging, irrelevance, and our own eventual demise. Horror fiction thrives on metaphor, and that's why, like moldy basements, collapsed roofs, and flooded cellars are so effective. They remind readers that nothing lasts, and that sometimes what's left behind is more dangerous than what's gone. Books like The Elements by Michael McDowell and Wolding Hall by Elizabeth Hand use this slow rot to build a lingering sickly dread. These places are like corpses, once full of life, now crawling with secrets. Number 3, nature taking over is its own kind of horror. When humans abandon a place, nature reclaims it, but not always peacefully. Horror fiction uses this concept to eerie effect. Ivy-covered walls, trees growing through floors, and animals nesting in children's bedrooms. These images create unease because they show the world moving on without us. The idea that nature doesn't care about our presence or our absence is deeply unsettling. In folk horror and ecological horror, this theme is especially prominent. Stories like In the Earth or The Ruins show that the natural world may be beautiful, but it's also wild, indifferent, and sometimes hungry.
The Ruins is great. It's a great story, by the way.
Number 4, these places are cut off, and that's where horror lives. Abandoned places are isolated by default. No cell service, no help, no one to hear you scream. Sound familiar? In horror fiction, isolation is the catalyst for fear. A character stuck in a forgotten asylum or an old boarding school can't rely on modern conveniences. They are completely alone, and that makes them vulnerable. Stories like The Sanitarium by Sarah Pierce or The Troop by Nick Cutter use remote, decaying locations to trap characters and remove safety nets. When there's nowhere to run and no one coming to save you, the tension skyrockets. Number 5. Abandoned locations often come with real-life baggage. There is a creepy SEO fact. I don't know what that one is. Real-world abandoned places generate massive search traffic. Think about it. How many people look up creepiest abandoned hospitals, real haunted asylums, urban exploration horror stories, ghost towns, and dark histories? There's always a thriving subculture of urban explorers and amateur ghost hunters fascinated by these spots. Horror fiction can tap into this fascination and amplify it. Blend real-life inspiration with fictional terror, and you have the kind of story that crawls under your skin and lingers. Number 6, the past never really dies in these places. Every horror fan knows this rule. The past always comes back. Abandoned places in fiction are often haunted not just by ghosts, but by memories, sin, and unresolved trauma. It's not the building that's scary, it's what happened there. These settings become containers for rage, guilt, sorrow, or pure evil. Take House of Leaves or Silent Companions. House of Leaves is an insane book. It literally took me an entire summer to get through it because, one, it is very small text, but it's so twisty and turny and winding. Like, literally, like, some of the pages, the words are written into, like, a spiral. It's like a puzzle.
Oh,
like,
cool.
you like, reading it, and you're, like, going into a fun house.
I might have to read this.
It's insane. I'll try and find my copy for you. But it's so dense, and, like, there's so much happening that it just takes so long to get through it. So, if you want a good psychological mindfuck, read House of Leaves.
I love a mindfuck.
But give yourself time to get through it. It is not a quick read. The setting is more than just background. It's a character with its own story and agenda. That kind of layered horror works incredibly well in literature, especially because books can slowly unravel a place's history over time. Number 7, horror literature has an edge over film in these settings. Let's be honest, abandoned places look creepy in movies, but in horror literature, they can become absolutely suffocating. That's because novels allow authors to fully explore a space, its smells, sounds, textures, and moods. You can linger in a rotting hallway. You can describe the exact quality of light filtering through a shattered window. You can use metaphor and literal monologue or internal monologue to give the place a presence.
That's
something you can't.
Better than movies.
Absolutely. Like, you give it texture. You can't do that with a movie very well. Like, you can, like, in some cases, but, like, depending on the move, like, the way you shoot it, how much time you give a certain shot, the music you play with it, but it's not the same.
Yeah. The human mind is always more capable of making it fucking terrifying.
Exactly.
Than the eyeballs are.
Yes, absolutely. Books like The Little Stranger or Hell House use this power to turn empty houses.
Is good too.
Very much so. It turns empty houses into psychological traps, and for the readers, the experience is immersive and unforgettable. And number 8, the subgenres that thrive on forgotten places. If you're writing horror or recommending horror reads, abandoned locations work well with a wide variety of subgenres, including gothic horror, crumbling estates with locked wings and family secret, psychological horror, characters that are projecting trauma into a decaying place, survival horror, explorers trapped in abandoned facilities, cosmic horror, ancient ruins and forgotten cities that should never have been found in the first place, and also urban horror, exploring haunted buildings in the middle of modern life. These crossovers make stories set in abandoned places evergreen for horror readers who love subgenre blending. In conclusion, what we abandon comes back to haunt us. Abandoned places terrify us because they represent more than just physical decay. They reflect loss, neglect, history, and forgotten horror. In fiction, they become stages for our worst nightmares, a place where rules no longer apply and help will never come. They are spaces where the veil between past and present, natural and supernatural, sanity and madness grows thin. That's why horror fiction keeps returning to them, and why readers never seem to get rid or never seem tired of going back, no matter how much they want to look away. So next time you pass a boarded up house or drive by a factory no one's used in decades, ask yourself, what's inside? And what does it remember that the world has forgotten? Dun, dun.
Very well written article.
Yeah.
I love, like, the concept of, like, abandoned places in horror. It's so good.
It's so good.
If I ever do write that zombie apocalypse novel I've talked about a few times, I want to set it in, like, an abandoned something.
Ooh.
Like, I thought, like, an abandoned theme park or abandoned, like, school or, I don't know, something. Because, like, a theme park would be cool because, so basically, I don't think I've talked about this on the podcast, but I have a concept in mind that I want to write one day. It would be a standalone novel. It would be a thriller / horror where there's only one character, really. I mean, other than the zombies.
Yeah.
But the character that the story follows is a person living in a post-apocalyptic zombie world with schizophrenia.
Ha!
They've run out of meds. They can no longer get meds. Schizophrenic. And like I can just imagine like describing their experience.
Yes. Oh my god, like they're walking through like the wall, like the maze of mirrors.
Yes.
And they're like,
exactly. Or like the mirrors that like change perspective.
yeah.
And like, yeah. Like,
oh, that'd be spooky.
But they're zombies.
I love this.
So like at some point I will probably write that novel. But yeah, I really do want to write a horror novel. I haven't yet, but I do want to.
That does sound very fun. Where does the tarot?
They're in there somewhere.
Oh, they're somewhere.
I think they're under.
Here.
Yeah, there you go. But yes, tarot time. Woo! All right, let's see what will inspire us for next month's
Yeah.
chaos. Ooh,
Whoop. Whoop.
Ooh.
There we go.
That card was speaking to you.
Apparently, he's like, pick me. But no, I gotta shuffle. Don't be a pick me girl.
Nobody likes to pick me.
No one likes to pick me.
All right.
All right, what we got?
I have the Four of Cups.
Okay, keep with the cups. Let's go.
All right. It is associated with celebration, social gatherings, joyful interactions, and can represent meditation, contemplation, reevaluation, or turning inward.
Okay.
All right.
Some self-reflection and celebration.
Yeah. Okay. I can get jiggy with that.
We like it.
All right. This card before.
The Ace of Cups.
I think I had this.
Okay.
It sounds really familiar.
Emotional new beginnings, pure love, compassion, spiritual healing, and it's an element of water.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I had this before. It was
Cool.
a while ago, but
Cool.
oh, I saw it here. It just flipped over, and I was like, oh, that one's backwards. Well, apparently I managed to turn it right side.
Alrighty. I'm not mad about it.
You're getting that one.
Okay.
All right.
Cool
Well,
beans.
We've learned some things today. We learned that
Nymphs are...
Kelly might be a nymph.
Kelly might be a nymph.
Men are fucking creepy.
We're going to feed them to the swamp people.
We're going to feed them to swamp people. I kind of want to, he's not a boop the snoot.
He's not... Yeah, not a boot to
But I
snoop,
would
like-
observe from a distance.
Exactly. Just be like, hey, swamp guy. I
Like
got
with
a snack.
binoculars.
Yep. We're like, I appreciate you from afar. Would you like a snack? The stalker guy is being real creepy.
Yes.
Here you go.
There you go.
Here
I left
you
him
go.
tied up on the road for you.
There you
Enjoy. Chomp chomp.
Chop, chop.
Eat him instead of the cars.
Exactly.
And we talk. I like that we worked in a little bit of like witchy woo woo mental health stuff in there too. Of like, it is May. It's the spring is kind of transitioning into summer. We just had Beltane. We're gonna be working towards the summer solstice soon.
Mm-hmm.
This is a very pivotal time of year where a lot of like spring cleaning happens and change and the turning over of soil, and there's a lot of representational things in that.
Yep.
So I think very apropos that you did cord cutting, because this is a time of year where people often will
Mm-hmm. We're trying to
try
go.
things, to let go of things, shake off the cold winter blech,
Yeah.
and move forward into summer with joy and happiness and lightness. So yeah, I love it.
We need a lot more of that in the world.
We need a
some
lot more
warmth
of that
and
shit in the world. Yeah. I've been Kelly.
I've been Carson.
And this has been Weird Shit Wednesday. Go cut some cords and
Plant a tree.
Plant a tree and feed a stalker to a swamp monster.
Yeah.
All right.
Bye.
See you next month.